The Tale of Sodua, the Coconut Shell Boy. Long ago, in a quiet village in Vietnam, there lived a poor widow. She had no children and worked hard every day to earn a living. One hot afternoon, as she was working in the fields, she felt very thirsty. She found a coconut shell filled with rainwater and drank from it. From that day on, something magical happened. She became pregnant. Months later, she gave birth to a strange child. He had no arms or legs, and his body was round like a coconut. Everyone in the village was shocked. They laughed and whispered behind her back, calling him a monster. But the kind mother loved her child with all her heart. She named him Sodua, which means coconut shell boy. Although Sodua was different, he was clever and gentle. He could speak like any other child and often rolled around to help his mother with small chores. The villagers teased him, but he never grew angry. He simply smiled and continued to do what he could. One day, Sodua told his mother, "Please, let me work like everyone else. I want to help you." At first, she was worried, but finally she agreed and sent him to watch over the cows of a rich man in the village. The rich man had 3 beautiful daughters. The 2 older ones looked down on Sodua, laughing at his strange appearance. But the youngest daughter was kind and humble. She felt sorry for him and treated him with kindness. Every day, she secretly brought him rice and water, and they became close friends. One afternoon, when the youngest daughter was watching the cows, she heard soft, beautiful music coming from the forest. Curious, she followed the sound. There, beneath a tall tree, she saw a miracle. Sodua had transformed into a handsome young man, dressed in fine clothes, playing a bamboo flute. She gasped in surprise. Sodua smiled and said gently, "Please don't tell anyone. This is a secret. When the time comes, I will show the truth." The girl nodded and promised to keep his secret. Time passed, and one day the rich man announced, "Whoever brings the most precious gifts will marry my daughters." Many wealthy men came, bringing gold and jewels. To everyone's surprise, Sodua sent a message asking to marry the youngest daughter. The rich man and his wife burst out laughing. "You, a boy in a coconut shell?" they said. But Sodua replied, "Please, allow me to try. I will send gifts as fine as any prince." The next day, golden horses, silk, and treasures arrived at the rich man's house, more beautiful than anyone had ever seen. Astonished, the rich man kept his promise, and Sodua married the youngest daughter. At the wedding, Sodua appeared before everyone, no longer a boy in a shell, but a handsome man with a kind heart. Everyone cheered and blessed their love. After some time, Sodua was called to serve the king. Before he left, he gave his wife a small magic flute and said, "If danger comes, play this flute, and I will return to you." Days turned into months. The 2 jealous sisters could not stand their younger sister's happiness. One day, they invited her to bathe in the river and, while she wasn't looking, pushed her into the deep water. The poor girl drowned. Soon, a beautiful white flower grew where she had fallen. When Sodua returned home and could not find his wife, he felt something was wrong. He took out the magic flute and played a soft, sorrowful tune. The wind carried the sound across the river. The white flower trembled, glowing with light. In that moment, his wife reappeared, alive and smiling, standing before him once again. The 2 sisters were punished for their cruelty, and peace returned to the village. Sodua and his wife lived happily ever after, loving each other more deeply than ever before. And so, the tale of Sodua reminds us that true beauty lies not in appearance, but in kindness, honesty, and love, the things that make our hearts shine brighter than gold.